remember y'all, and I'm a girl up here with two guys, right? So I remember being on my, my kids were younger. I was in this situation to where I lied on myself, right? Because it was uncommon for people to have um less than five sexual partners at the age that I was at. And this person thought that I was lying, right? So it was so crazy to me that you wouldn't even believe what I said to you, but yet and still I'm telling you that this is to be true because it was true. But yet then I find myself as a young lady very much so interested in this person lying
Mm.
about the people that I had laid down with.
Yeah,
How crazy is that?
that was.
Do you? I'm just saying, as women, we do some of the foolish things, because we're interested in people, or we call ourselves in love with people, but yet and still, if you did care for me like you say you did, or if you did love me like you say you did, or not even love, but if you did care for me like you say you did, why would you not believe me? I mean, seriously, would that even matter?
If you started, if you starting off like that,
What?
you starting off with the lie, or you starting off with the lie. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
because everything that I said,
If
we
it's
didn't
basic,
believe
yeah,
because he doesn't remind me of you, but his thing
mhm,
was if it doesn't make sense, I'm gonna have to continue to ask questions until it makes sense, and then you find yourself lying
yeah.
because it doesn't make sense.
Oh yeah, that's
So
crazy.
how in the world? Honestly, it doesn't even matter. Doesn't matter who your past relationships were with if you were in a relationship with someone.
To
No,
me, it don't.
it don't, because that's your
Mm-mm.
past. That's
Absolutely.
before me.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
Absolutely. That's the
yeah,
thing. It's
I don't
before
care.
me. None of
Yeah,
them other dudes,
yeah,
for lack of better
yeah.
words,
They
they
don't
don't
matter.
matter. I don't
They
care.
don't matter. Yeah,
They
But
ain't
to
me.
but to
yeah,
some people it does matter.
yeah.
For
But
sure.
I
And
just I guess it doesn't to me as being a young woman at that time, and I'm still a young woman,
yeah,
okay? I it doesn't really matter to me either. My thing is this, whatever you did have in the past is definitely in the past.
right.
I'm not down with all of that. Let's go let's go back here, right? Now, if there was a previous marriage or something like that, then I want to know about that because there's different things that could come out of that. If there's a
Right.
child in a relationship, or you know what I'm saying, just different things like that. I don't have to have details
Right.
about your marriage. I don't have to have details in anything like that. But if there is somebody else and we're having a blended family, I want to know about those things so that I know how to prepare myself, or
Right.
I know what I need to do as a woman that is married to you about our blended family. I'm all about family. I really, really am. But it blows my mind that men is so interested in things that we've done in our past, and
Yeah.
sometimes women too, but it just really doesn't make sense to me because why would you want to go back there?
There's an insecurity there. There's a softness, a tender spot for them there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they want to know all this stuff because they insecure or of something that either happened to them, or just it's like a level of power for a person, for them to be able to say something that shames you. It's like they up on you. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
one
like
up on
a
you.
one
You feel me?
upper.
Yeah.
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 And for them, some people, like, power at that, that's crazy to me. But
Yeah.
it's a game. It's a mind game. It's a power game.
So
So
that's one version of it,
Yeah.
and I like that, and I do agree with you. For me, it's kind of different.
Mhm.
So I am genuinely curious
Mhm.
about stuff in
Yeah.
the past
Right.
because I want to know.
right.
I
Yeah.
want to learn from it because I feel like that's what the past is for, to learn from
Uh-huh.
and to help improve the present and the future.
Right.
All right.
So I've asked my wife tons of questions about the past.
Yeah.
Right.
And for some men, they don't want to know because they are insecure.
Yeah.
They don't ask the question because they want to use it. They don't ask the question because they are fearful.
Yeah.
They're like, oh my gosh, you did this to you.
Yeah, that's
Was-
that's
exactly.
crazy.
You see what I'm
Nigga,
saying?
why?
But for
Why you
me-
want to know?
Exactly. But
Did
for
he?
me, I'm just
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I live such a sheltered life, and I
Uh-huh.
have really low experience. Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I kind of live vicariously through that sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
okay,
so
gotcha.
I ask a lot of questions to a lot of different people because I'm just genuinely curious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm not insecure
Right,
because
right.
that don't affect me. That
Right.
person wasn't me. I'm
Right, right.
me. He ain't me. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You
I
know.
totally
That's
get that
So
part.
that level, yeah, cool, cool. Yeah, but if they just constantly pressing about not your everyday life or what's going on, you feel me? Like pushing you to an uncomfortable level of
yeah,
about your past,
yeah,
like, what's the deal? You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
Like,
Yeah,
why are you doing
yeah.
this?
Yeah.
What did you just do?
Right.
I
Have
wish I
you
could
guys
have
ever
done
been asked that question, like about your past,
all the
or
time.
like pressured about your past? I
Mm,
mean, is it like from the opposite sex? So, like from you, Bo, is
yeah.
it like, are they like, so how many women have you slept with?
Oh
I mean,
man.
is it really that important? And if it is that important to a person, say for instance, you cared about this person, would you really tell them?
I'm the I'm the
Just
wrong
yes or no,
yeah,
because you
yeah,
be
because
getting all
I'm
over
the
in
wrong
left
person.
field,
I'm the
brother.
wrong person to ask if you
Okay.
don't want to know the truth.
Okay,
That's what it
but
is.
I'm just asking you, if they were to ask you, would you be just 100% honest with that
Yes.
person? Okay.
Yes.
And then what if they say, that's too much? Then what do you say?
That's too much then.
Okay, I got you. Because I'm like Uncle Ricky.
You know what I'm
Body
saying?
count.
You know what I'm
How
saying?
many?
Yeah.
So I get that. I just, in my mind, I didn't really understand why it was so important to the point of asking the question, or to the point of me even lying about what I've done
Mhm.
and who I've done it with. I was very much so inexperienced. And if inexperience can go off of you being impregnated with children, I shouldn't have none. Not
Yeah.
one. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Mhm.
So it's just that type of situation. It just blew my mind that people are that interested in your past relationships, to the point of, if it doesn't make sense because that's not the norm
Mhm.
for society today, then you're lying. And you don't have to lie. I mean, I don't have to lie. But it's just crazy to me how when I thought about that, how I put myself in a situation to where I felt like lying was like the best option for me. And then maybe if I did lie, then we would be fine. No. That's horrible. So you just don't ever lie on yourself and just keep it moving.
Oh.
I just but how many is too many though? I mean, let's get that out of the way. How many people is too many? What would you think?
I genuinely think that it's in the eye of the beholder.
I got you.
It's
Gotta be.
you whoever you ask, because
Yeah.
some people are gonna say one is too many.
Yeah.
And there's some people, they're gonna be like 5, 7,
Yeah.
and then there's gonna be some people, especially if their count is high,
Yeah.
they're gonna be like, I don't care. Some of
Yeah,
them,
for
but some of them. But
Yeah.
for me, because it was funny, because I was in a conversation a few years back with some
Mhm.
ladies, and they was like, "What's your body count?" I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
they thought I was lying.
Yeah.
I was
See,
like,
that's what I'm saying. That's abnormal for
Mhm.
society today,
Yeah.
but yet and still,
That's
that is
that's
for real.
judgmental.
Yeah.
We don't have to lie. But I'm
Yeah.
sorry for interrupting. Go
no,
ahead.
it was funny to me, because I was like, what makes you think that,
Yeah.
why? I'm being for real. They was like,
Yes.
nah, at least five. No, hold on, let's slow down here.
For real.
But yeah, I
Man.
really think that it depends on the person for
I got
Yeah,
sure.
you.
got to.
It
Mhm.
definitely makes sense. So, Bo, not asking you,
Yeah.
but if you were with a lady and you were to ask that question, right? It's just that one question, y'all were just having pillow talk. And then she asked you, and then you asked her, how many would be too many? Or would that even matter?
That wouldn't matter to me, and I wouldn't ask her a number.
I got you.
I wouldn't do it.
Okay. I totally understand that.
Yeah.
So, being here in 2025,
Mhm.
there's some women with higher body counts than men. Okay.
Right.
Definitely.
There's some women out there, baby. They don't care. And hey, you like it, I love it. But yet and still, as a society, why do we base our feelings off of body counts when it comes to people that we've fallen in love with? And then if their body count is too many, then we can't be in a relationship with this person. Have y'all ever seen that?
I've seen it.
I've seen
But
it
why
too,
does that
but
make
Seen it.
sense? Does it really matter?
not to, so
Shouldn't.
like I've seen some dudes talk about it, and like to me it's twisted. They're talking
Yeah.
about some, like, if you have a cup of water, and if multiple people start sticking their hands in the cup of water, it gets
Right.
dirty over time.
Mhm.
And I see the logic in that,
Mhm.
but I don't know.
It's not
But
relatable.
but
It's not relatable.
but
Yeah,
this
for
right
that
here.
part.
So this is crazy, and
Yeah.
this is where things get two-sided, which is so jacked up. So this is what you're saying about a young lady, right?
Mhm.
But what about you?
Exactly.
Because what if I came to you with that same scenario?
Right.
Baby, please, I got this cup of water, and for everybody count, I'm putting in this cup of water. It's filthy. I don't need that. So why are
Dirty
things
water.
so double why are there double standards? There's double standards with
Everything.
fathers, with sons and daughters.
Mhm.
There's double standards with men in relationships with women. I can, but you can't. You go out and cheat on me, then I should forgive you. But if I go out and cheat on you, that is the worst thing I could have ever done.
Yeah.
Every name
That's
in the vocabulary that's not a child of God, but yet and still we've done the same thing. I'm unforgivable, but you are. What is that?
we know. We said this time and time again that men and women are completely wired.
We are,
different.
but I did nothing no more than you did. And I'm supposed to forgive you, hold your hand, and be okay with praying every night with you and holding your hand and knowing that you didn't slept with Juanita over here in Motel 6 and got caught, but yet and still I slept with Billy Bob over in the Sheraton, not the Sheraton. What's a good one over here? He took me top notch over here in Texarkana, okay? But yet and still,
That's
y'all,
crazy.
I've been crucified.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I've been
Absolutely.
stoned.
That's crazy work.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Baby, I've been hung by my hands and my feet.
that's crazy.
How does that work?
It doesn't work.
But
It shouldn't.
why is
doesn't-
it even okay?
It's not okay.
But why do guys do it?
I think
Y'all are men.
I think guys that do that,
Are they insecure?
yes, to a degree, gotta be. These are, yeah, they're insecure.
Yeah.
To a degree. That's
What
I'll
I've heard is for a lot of men it's a pride thing.
Mm-hmm.
For them it's like oh man, like I can go out not saying that it's okay, and a lot of them even acknowledge that it's not okay.
Right.
But they'll be like, I can go out here and do this, that, and the other and come back and, treat my wife fine, even though everything's not good. This kind of happened, she'll forgive me at some point, blah, blah, blah. But as soon as the woman does it, they're
Right.
like, somebody else done had mines.
Yeah, right.
And they can't handle that.
Right.
They can't handle that somebody else,
Right.
took what
Right.
they thought was exclusive to them.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of where some of it stems from.
Well, see, I totally agree, 110%. But look at it this way, right? Something that I use or something that is a part of me, right? That somebody went and used this thing that I find intimate with my husband or whatever the case may be,
Right.
and somebody got mine.
Mhm.
How are we different?
How
How are we different?
It's
That's the thing I do not understand. I am filthy
not,
for stepping out on a relationship, but you're clean?
I think that maybe, like, I haven't done a study or any numbers, but
You
I feel
ain't
like,
got to. You know how society works.
I feel like men are more prideful than women.
Right. And they are.
And so I think it might, and I don't, like I said, I don't agree,
Mhm.
but I think since men are so much more prideful, it weighs heavier with men than it would for that specific instance. It weighs heavier with men than it would for a woman.
So it's all about ego.
Ego, that's the better, yeah.
And you can say ego, and I understand that, but
There's
emotions. Women are more emotional people.
right.
They're more emotional. Men
Some
are more.
are.
Some are, and some men are more logical, not justifying
Yeah,
anything.
that's not logic.
Logic and emotions.
No, that's not logic.
I'm just
Because if you're
okay.
telling me
Mhm.
that you're thinking logically by calling me out my name because I stepped out of our relationship and you did
That's
the
his.
same
That's
thing.
whoever logic is. Whoever that don't mean it's right.
Right, okay.
You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean that it's right. That's their logic.
Got
That's
you.
connected to their emotions. And because men and women are different
Mhm.
in the ways of you're more of an emotional creature than I am.
Mhm.
I'm your brother. You know what I'm saying? You're more emotional than me.
Right.
So whenever, and this is going all completely around just to go somewhere else, that emotions are tied closer to women than they are for men. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like that. So you're not supposed to, or the man's not. It's not supposed to be any different, but it is different because of the ego, because of the pride, because a lot of men are emotional detached from their feelings, from their emotions. So to them, this is just a logical step that I'm making. That's what I mean when I mean logic and
Mm-hmm.
emotions. And that's just what it is. And they feel like it's more of a female trait. If you hear a person, does that make sense? For
Mm-mm.
a man that says, "Oh, that's a female trait," you know what I'm saying?
I've
When we
seen
talk to
some
another man,
people say stuff like
that's
that.
the emotional part to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's a female trait, closer tied closer to their emotions.
Okay.
In
But
other
why?
words,
My thing is, is men being less emotional? Is that taught or is that genetic?
that's taught. That's taught, and it has to be untaught.
Mm-hmm.
That's the standard.
I feel like we need to be more emotionally vulnerable.
I think
Right.
so.
And that's the new version. This
Mhm.
other one.
He said, and that's the new version.
Right. That's the new version.
Right.
This other version that's outdated, that bring it back to Dad, Joe, myself.
Mm,
That whole scenario. I'm the youngest one. This is my older brother. That's my dad.
right.
My whole life, I felt like I was taught that guys is just supposed to be like, okay, make it happen, whatever. Your feelings really don't matter. You just got to get it done.
I get what you're saying.
And being raised like that,
Mm,
my whole life being raised like that, and at the same time nurturing to women and stuff, but the emotional part of being a man.
mm,
And then this whole time, now I'm a grown man,
mm.
and y'all call me and tell me y'all been laughing and talking and crying and all that. I'm like, what?
Crying.
Yeah, they was crying together, laughing and talking together. But my whole life, y'all done told me that this is not what you do. Men don't cry. They don't do this. And
I
all
think
that.
as men get older,
As
like
yeah,
Daddy
new
has gotten
version,
older,
updated.
Joe is older. They're
Right.
more in tune with their emotional side, and that's fine. But the
Right.
thing about it is, when you guys are younger, that's what us women have to go through,
Mhm.
which is so jacked up because we can be emotional or we can be vulnerable with our mates, but yet and still you can't be. And then when you are not there, like you are attracted to someone else, and so all of a sudden I'm emotionally detaching from you
Mm.
because you're not being vulnerable with me and I don't know the true who you are. Yes, sometimes people will cheat. I've
Mhm.
never cheated, but sometimes people will cheat.
Right.
But the thing about it is, if you're asking me to be vulnerable
Mhm.
with you, what's wrong with you being vulnerable with me? Because sometimes in relationships that are that way, sometimes you can work with that. You want to see those
Yeah.
types of things. Because yes, I want a man that is strong. Okay.
Mm.
I need somebody that is stronger than me. And I am strong willed all day long. But yet and still to see my man be vulnerable, that's a whole attraction.
Yeah, it's a
And
different
then
type of strength.
it
Right.
is because then I know that, hey, when you're weak, let me help you. I got you. And you can rely on me. But this tough guy 24/7 every single day, and then you go out and you step out on my relationship with me, and then all of a sudden I can't.
That's why we got to be careful who you get in relationships with and see these kind of traits in them, because it's an untaught. That has to be untaught. If this has been the standard for these men their whole life, not making an excuse
Mm,
that they have been emotional detaching and all this, generations of it. The new version is like now being vulnerable and doing all this. It's been such, I mean, that's what we're coming into now. Like a generation that they can do that. In old times,
mm-mm,
old
mm-mm.
old times, man. So
Go
you tell
ahead.
us.
Finish what you
So
gotta say.
okay. So can you tell me that you think my dad was a romantic guy? Was a romantic man?
No.
Was that the standard
Yeah.
in his days? Was that his standard?
Right.
However he was,
Right.
however that got him attracted to our mother.
Mm-hmm.
In that process, do you think he was a romantic man with flowers and all that stuff?
What that I saw, no.
I'm just
No.
saying, period.
No.
Would you think that? And that's what I'm saying. Nowadays, You should. That's what you're supposed to do. Women are looking for you to do that.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? We're coming into a new age to when men and women are being vulnerable with each other. We're leaving a stage where men weren't being vulnerable. Don't nobody want to deal with that no more, even though that's an unlearned trait because you've been taught this long. Now men, they need to be put together in order to get with women. You know what I'm saying? For y'all to be happy together. So that's an unlearned characteristic that they have to unlearn.
I hear
So
you.
be by
Emotion.
yourself until you unlearn that, and then get with somebody that you can show your emotions to and be vulnerable with each other.
I hear you. I'm a agree to disagree on some of that you just said, and the reason why I say that
Hmm.
is because of this. Just because my dad was that way doesn't
Hmm.
mean Billy Bob down the street was that way,
Right.
and they're the same age. Billy Bob down the street was in tune with his emotions. He loved his wife. He brought her flowers. He ran her bath water. He did
Mhm.
all the romantic things, and he was brought up in a time that my father was still brought up in that same time, in that same era.
Right.
But Ronnie wanted to be macho. Billy Bob was in tune with his sensitive side and showed his wife love and affection.
Right.
So I don't think it has anything to do with the time. I just think it has something to do with putting down my ego
Hmm.
to let my woman know how much I appreciate,
Mhm.
love her, and let me show her how I love her
Mhm.
with these types of things.
Right.
So that's just me. So I agree with some, but
Right.
disagree with some of that too. I
That's
think
me.
that guys need to put down that ego and honestly and show women how much so that they're important to them. There's
Right.
nothing wrong with being vulnerable
At
to your
all.
wife.
At all. You're
There's
supposed to
nothing
be.
wrong with being vulnerable to your girlfriend. There's nothing wrong with that.
Mhm.
And if you think there's something wrong with that, something wrong with you. And I'm gonna
Mhm.
tell you, she gonna put up with that mess for so long,
Right.
Mr. Macho.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, all that macho masculinity and all of
Mhm.
those things that doesn't make her feel safe
Right.
or loved or appreciated,
Right.
either she's gonna detach or we gonna have some milkman babies out here.
Right.
I'm
And,
telling
and
you.
that's what should happen. That's why I said if you're a man know if they got these issues or not. So if you're dealing with this and you can't be this nurturing person that you need to be open up to, that your woman can open up with,
Mm.
you need to be by yourself and figure yourself out 1st
Mhm.
until you bring this to a relationship with somebody. Because until you do,
Mhm.
it's not going to work every time. She'll keep emotionally detaching, you'll keep physically attaching. It'll be a on and on process until each person learn who they are by themselves first.
Right. I understand that.
Yeah.
And some people appreciate that person. You
Right.
know, I watched one of my uncles and
Mhm.
so he's that type of guy. I don't know. Like with us, he's not really he doesn't show vulnerability. He doesn't put himself out there. But who knows what happens behind closed doors? You know what I'm saying? Because he may, but to us, he's like one of the hardest uncles I've ever
Who? Which
seen.
one is this?
Hardest uncles I've ever seen, but yet and still, you know
Really?
what I mean? It's
Yeah.
just like maybe behind closed doors, he has a whole different type of situation going on. Because I don't think he has an issue getting women. Nah, I've seen him with a couple, but I'm just saying, I just think that sometimes it's a time and a place. But I don't feel as if we have to be macho behind closed doors as well.
Yeah.
That's just me. I just feel like sometimes women need that.
Mhm.
They need to see their men in a whole different light. I don't need Mr. Macho 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, because
Right.
honestly, if we just being honest, sometimes I could be a little bit stronger than Mr. Macho myself. So it's just like those types of situations to where I understand being raised by men who
Mhm.
doesn't show emotion. But just because you was raised by that man that didn't show emotion doesn't mean that you can't show emotion.
For
Right.
sure.
Doesn't mean
Somebody.
that you don't know how to love your wife or
Yeah.
your girlfriend. Doesn't mean that you don't show her how you appreciate her. And sometimes women got to teach men like that how to treat them.
Exactly.
It's a hard lesson because sometimes, I'm telling you, sometimes they don't want. I've seen these like little TikTok things that's so funny to me. How she puts flowers, like throws flowers in the car, and then you bought me flowers.
Mhm.
Sometimes that's that painful lesson, but yet and still it has to happen. You got to treat people. You have to teach people how to treat you. And sometimes
Yeah.
as women we don't, because we're infatuated with that person, or we're in lust with that person,
Right.
to where we make up stories of how amazing they are to us, and knowing good and doggone well they suck.
For
Okay,
sure.
Lying to
they
yourself.
that part, lying to yourself and to everybody else,
Right.
and we can see through all that mess just like this. Okay, so they ain't doing nothing. They talk a good game, but ain't nobody doing nothing. So I just feel as if you love someone, dude, does a body count does it really matter? Or
No.
do you have to act hard in front of everybody all the time? You know what I'm saying? I can understand you being macho in front of these other little boys and men out here, but when we get home, lay that down.
For sure.
Lay it
Yeah.
down.
It's a
And treat
form
me
of
like I
attraction.
need to be treated.
sure.
Because if you treat me like I need to be treated, if you are giving me the things that I need to make me feel like I'm important to you, guess what? I'm going to return that tenfold. But y'all ain't learned this lesson yet. Y'all still out here talking trash. And this is why we ain't showing you nothing. Okay?
I got a question then.
Sound like an
Okay.
I got a
attachment.
question. So, what would y'all say to the man or to the the kid that? Well, let's just focus on men. Let's say the man, he was vulnerable, and then the partner threw it back in his face. So now he's retracted,
Yeah.
and he's like, "I'm not gonna make that mistake again."
Right.
Right.
What do we say to them? Like, how does he handle that? Like, how does he overcome that hurdle to trust again? Essentially,
For
'Cause
real.
I don't
For sure.
want to be hurt. Like, I was vulnerable one time,
Yeah.
and then
What
you
happened?
used that against me when
That's
I was trying to be open with you and let
Yeah.
you in,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and you used it against me.
I totally get it. I can speak on my side of that because I've been done that way, right? I've totally opened up, told some things that I had never shared with anybody, and in the first argument, that was thrown in my face, and that vulnerability for me went straight out the window. I never
Yeah.
looked back, and I will never look back. But the thing about it is, if that happens to you, and you're the person that receives that slap in the face, honestly, I'm going to tell you, you know what? I would never. I'm not going to not tell you, because by me not telling you, you're going to be like, what's wrong with you? Why you don't talk to me? All these other things. I'm going to be straight up, and I'm going to put 10 toes deep in that sand and be like, listen, I told you something that was sacred. I told you something that I was sharing with my partner, and you threw that in my face. I would never trust you again. And if you want me to trust you, I ain't even got to tell you if you want me to trust you. You're going to have to work for that. You're going to have to work hard for that. I'm not going to say that I would never trust you ever again, but I'm going to be very careful about what I tell you from this point on. I will never tell you. I'm not going to, let me stop saying never. I'm not going to tell you anything that's going to affect my heart, my space, my mind, my body, my soul like that again. Not for a long period of time, until I feel that I can trust you. So if somebody does you that way, I will tell them, this is what you done to me, and this is how I feel, and this is what I'm feeling, and I'm not going to trust you. I do not trust you. I'm not going to be vulnerable with you anymore. And honestly, they're going to have to understand that. And if they don't understand that and be like, oh, get over it, boy, bye.
Need to be gone.
That's just me. You can't hurt me twice.
Right.
You shouldn't hurt me the first time.
Absolutely.
Because if we're supposed to be together, and my safe space is within you, my safe space is right here on your shoulder with your hand or on your chest, then that's exactly where my safe space should be. But once you throw it back in my face, I don't have a safe space with you anymore.
Absolutely.
And that's just how it is. And so you're going to have to work at me trusting you again. Now, I had that done before. Now I would say, like, on the work side, because this is work and not a relationship, but I've done that same thing too. I let somebody make me upset about a decision, and I made a decision in an emotional situation. I made an emotional decision. It took me months for that region or those people to trust me again, but I worked at it hard. And so we have to work at things if we want people to forgive us, if we want to be a part of that vulnerability with our mate. You're going to have to work on it. I'm just not going to do it. And it's going to take more than a day, more than a week, more than 2 months. Because once you continue to do this for a long period of time, for months, then I can see myself maybe starting to trust you. But baby, I ain't giving you 2 months, and you think I'm going to tell you everything? Absolutely not. You're going to have to work at this.
For sure.
For sure. So don't hurt me like that.
Yeah.
Do not. I won't do it again.
For sure.
But that's just me.
Mm-hmm.
Bo may have something totally different.
No, same thing. I just think a lot of that's just the difference between being attached and being aligned with somebody.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? If somebody that does that to you, y'all might not have been aligned ever. You know what I'm saying? Y'all will attached. I think we have a lot of early relationships based off physicality and all that, and not learning each other. All these connections are early. So when you're not making a genuine connection, something organic that come together, I think you messing up. You setting yourself up for failure, just so to say. You know what I'm saying? Because you're rushing a process that it ain't done yet. It's still cooking, but you pushing it, and it's not time.
Right.
So you get yourself into something that you shouldn't have because you need to just wait. Sometimes the process, the journey is everything, and getting there, taking that long to get there, it's testing it by fire. You know what I'm saying? Going through the complete process of something and
Mhm.
just being like, okay, this is a genuine connection, and I felt it. This was something that was organically made, and not me trying to. Because the way I started, that's the way I'm gonna finish it
Mm.
with anything.
Yeah.
So I think we need to just enjoy the process at times,
Mm-hmm.
the journey, the everything. When we unsure, keep going. You know what I'm saying, for your answer, because leaning to our own understanding will have us messed up, have us messing up people, then they messing up people,
Mm-hmm.
and you know what I'm saying, just because we weren't ready yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
The process,
Because
journey.
that very thing is I feel like that's why some men are not as emotional or not so vulnerable, because they were hurt.
Yeah.
Right,
So
for
when they
sure.
go to that next relationship, okay, this person did me like this, and this was somebody I thought who was my person.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm still learning you,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna hold it all back.
That's true.
So it's kind of like it's tough.
It is tough. And then you know what else is tough about that is being a woman in a relationship with a hurt man from somewhere else
Mhm.
is very, very painful, very hard, because number one, you're giving everything you have into this relationship.
you journey
You're
yourself.
giving every ounce of your being to let this person know that I love you. I got you. I'm never going to hurt you. I got you when you're weak. You got me, our understanding, and all these different things. But if you're still hanging on to past hurts and relationships, then you're not even paying attention to me. You're just trying to see when I'm going to mess up, and all you're doing, you're not even seeing the good qualities that I have. You're not even seeing the parts of where I got your back and that I will never let you struggle. You're not even seeing the part of me trying to take care of you. All you're seeing is, well, she did me like this. I'm just gonna wait and see when you gonna do it. You know, we doing this.
Yeah.
And so it's a disjustice to me as a woman, or to any woman out there, because we're working double time, triple time to let you know how much we feel, and you're not even accepting it. You're not even reciprocating that same situation either. And do you know how tiring that is? Baby, that's like a job that you don't even want. Okay? But you have to, because you waiting on a paycheck to go somewhere else. It's gonna come to an end. So if that's the case and you're not ready to be in a relationship, sit down.
Please.
As this girl said that I work with, sit down, sit on your South Africa and do what you need to do. Get yourself together and then come over here on my side of the hill. Because until you're ready, all you're going to do is bring that good woman all the way down. And then when she goes into another relationship, guess what? She's going to be looking at this man the same way that you did her. And it's going to be a repeated cycle. And you got two good people that could be good for one another, but she's just waiting on this one to act just like you did.
Hurt
so
people hurt people.
That
Exactly.
part. So you have got to make sure that when you go into a relationship, all of your past situations, all that past hurt history and all of that other stuff, do something with it. There's nothing wrong with going to counseling. I'm a full advocate for counseling. Seriously. But don't go into a relationship hurting somebody else because you still over here just got all this hurt, 20-year hurt. Y'all ain't seen this woman in 20 years, but she hurt you to your core and you ain't even got over it. Now you treating your new wife just as bad, or your girlfriend that same way.
Because it's
Can't
so
do it.
it's exhausting bursting through those walls
It
that get put
is.
up. It's exhausting.
But
Mhm.
honey,
I
after
wouldn't do it.
after a third wall, I'm done.
I wouldn't do it, because you know what I'm saying? I'm not in a relationship right now, so I wouldn't my standards on I wouldn't even do it.
But you know what? The difference between men and women,
Uh-huh.
we will try it.
Yeah.
We would definitely do it because if we see potential and we see somebody that we feel like we care about,
Uh-huh.
then it could even be a lust. We
Yeah.
definitely gonna try to work it out.
Yeah.
We definitely gonna try to get in there and do whatever we possibly can in
True.
order to change you or just kind of just you doing this. We just gonna just we just want a little bit of a nudge. We gonna try it.
That must just be the nature of it then.
Women are nurturers by
By,
nature.
by nature.
And so with that, we want to show
Mm-hmm.
people that we can care for you, we love you, all of the things. And we're going to try it. No matter they're telling me no, and I'm telling you yes.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying, "Hey, we could be friends." But then I'm hearing that maybe one day it'll get to something totally different.
Yeah.
You clearly told me. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That's that
Yeah.
other personality coming
Yeah.
out. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
the
We have
illusion.
multiple personalities around here. So sometimes you need to hear what you're hearing
Yeah.
and sit down somewhere.
Mhm.
He ain't ready. Don't force nobody into nothing because once you force somebody into a relationship with you and they continue to tell you, I'm not ready, I don't want to be in a relationship, your understanding is, I clearly understand what you're trying to say to me. I don't want nothing but to have relations every now and again, and that's about it. Then take him at his word.
Yeah.
And if you agree, then that's fine. If you don't agree, let that boy go.
Please.
Do what you need to do and keep it moving, honestly, because he's already telling you his truth. So you got to just do that because you're going to end up getting hurt behind a whole situation that they've already made very clear, crystal clear at that. You hear me? I mean, I'm like window clear. You can't see nothing but what they saying.
You know what I'm saying?
And we trying to make it something else.
Right.
It ain't like that Sleeping Beauty situation. Who's, you know what I'm saying? We're looking at what they're saying. There's nothing else there but what they said. And we got to take it at face value and go on about our business. So if they're telling you that, honestly, jump on back. And if they're not being clear, sit down. Sit down and let them sit down until they figure out what they got going on. I'm telling you, when I was not in a relationship for some years, I found myself really learning about myself, right?
That's what it
I
is.
really did. I learned what I love, what I didn't love, what I like, what I didn't like. I had to figure that out about me because I went from high school to a child being pregnant at 19, having my child at 20, being in a relationship with their dad, and then out of a relationship with their dad, then in a relationship with somebody else, and my kids were small, and then out of that relationship, being in a relationship with somebody else, and then out of that relationship, I'm like, I don't even know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Because as women, sometimes we don't want to be by ourselves because we feel like we need somebody to tell us who we are,
Mhm.
to be justified by the man that we stand beside.
Mhm.
And he ain't even a man.
That's crazy.
He a kid just like your kid that you raising over here. You know what I'm saying? But yet and
Crazy,
still, we feel as if this man makes me look good and he will justify me and make me feel like a woman and this I am woman with him. And we're not. And when I had to sit there in that space that I made for myself because I wanted to, I did not want my daughter to see that part of me. I found out a lot of things about myself. I found out that I did not like being by myself at all, which made me be by myself. And then I figured out so many things about me that you know what I'm saying, that I like, I didn't like, whatever the case may be. I spent a lot of time like being invested in my children. I was there every game, every situation, all of the things because there was not one person tugging me over here. I'm right here with my kids. Because when you're in relationships sometimes with people that don't want to be in a relationship but just want to, you know what I'm saying, have, relations, not a relationship, but relations, then you're being pulled here, there, and everywhere because it's on their terms and not on yours. So with that being said, hey, let's go to this game. I got this. We do this. We do this. And so I got in that routine. And so I was happy, very happy being by myself, learning who I was. I was. That was the first time in a long time that I sat there in that singleness and in that quietness and figured out so many things. I got close to God. God was working out. He was working things out for me, all the things. But we have to be willing to sit there. Sometimes we're not because, again, we let our emotions tell us our revelation because we don't want to sit in peace and quiet and figure things out. But what I did at a young age and what I would do now, boy, please, totally different beast. But y'all better get out of my face. Go about your business, okay? If you ain't talking good things over here, keep on moving.
Absolutely.
Ain't got time. Ain't got time. I feel like Bo right now. I've been taking up the whole mic. What's up?
No, I feel like me. I'll be chilling. Just listening and
But yeah,
listening
that's
and
me.
taking it
But
in.
yeah, I know that's just me. I just like going back to the topic. It's just crazy to me, you know, how we just out here in these streets and how as women, black women at that. And I'm not gonna say all black women, white women too. I know some good women that we come up with these lies that guys believe about us rather than the truth because it's not common. We ain't gotta be common. We don't have to be the average Joe. Just because your body count is big doesn't mean mine has to be. You know what I mean? So, and because I am a woman and you go out and you do what you feel like you need to do, and if I do the same way or the same thing to you, that doesn't mean you can call me out my name. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to cheat on anybody. I don't cheat. I don't do it. But I'm just saying, don't think that you're good and I'm bad because I do. We shouldn't be doing anything. We should be sitting there talking about it. And if what I do in our bedroom is not pleasing to thee, let me know so that we can fix it.
Let's have a conversation.
That
You know what I'm
part,
saying?
because I'm telling you, because sometimes as a woman, and I know there's some women out there, sometimes y'all ain't pleasing to us. And we out here faking things.
Yeah.
Okay?
I heard about it.
That's
I
a whole
heard
nother
it.
podcast.
I heard about it.
Yeah.
I
I'm pretty
heard-
sure you have.
I've heard
but
about
I'm
it.
pretty
It's
sure you have.
crazy how they
But
talk
I'm
about
just
these guys.
saying, you know what I'm saying? Because y'all out here like stepping out and doing all the things.
Yeah.
Come on now. We out here faking it too.
Them is them.
Yeah, okay.
Because
Well,
I
hear
can't
you.
step out and do nothing because I'm single, but
I don't
understand them.
I don't know the women you deal with.
No, I've heard about of these
women
that talk
women.
down
If
about
you know
these
my
guys.
little brother on a whole different relation type situation,
I'm great.
don't inbox us, okay?
I
Don't
don't
say
know.
nothing negative about it.
There is no
Don't
one that
you
can say
do
they can
it.
say anything bad about me.
Don't you hey,
Everybody I ever been with still love me.
Focus. Look
and
at
I
me.
love y'all.
Look at me.
But it's
Don't you
levels
do
to
it.
everything.
Don't
It's
you
levels
do
to
it.
everything.
Don't you
The
keep that to
connections
yourself.
relationships to everything. You know what I'm
You
saying?
always
It's
talking.
levels. You know what I'm talking about? You can't just throw me in the lion's den and
I'm
think
just
I ain't gonna
telling
calm out.
I'm
It's
just telling
it's like it was a setup.
No,
But
just,
no,
I was
for
just
real,
messing
not
with you,
me.
Bo. I'm just messing with
That's
you,
I
Bo.
know, I know.
That's funny.
But don't y'all do it. Don't you DM nothing. Don't you put nothing on Instagram or
Everybody know
TikTok.
my name.
Don't
But
you
yeah,
do it.
no, I don't do that.
But I'm just saying, you know, don't do that because sometimes if you want to get your feelings hurt, then do something to somebody. And they're gonna tell you the truth and it's gonna be ugly.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, you know, everybody needs to sit down. As they used to say, take a chill pill and let's just talk about it. I feel like conversations are better than just stepping out anyway. Talk to me. Let me fix what I can fix. Because honestly, if you were to talk to a woman,
Yeah.
I promise you, if you're pouring into her, she will fix anything she possibly can for her man.
For sure.
For a show. Especially if she love you, she'll fix anything. But you gotta pour into her.
Mhm.
You just can't just be like, you know, you do this, do that. You can't
Yeah,
do
that's
that.
a child.
You gotta pour things into her. Honestly,
Mhm.
as someone said, I was watching on a reel. It says the one thing that a man can do, the simplest act that a man can do. We know that y'all go to work and y'all have all this masculine energy because when you get home, you're tired, you're exhausted, you're beat up from the day. Women are the same way, but yet and still, if you would get her, hold her, just like 5 minutes or 10 seconds of just looking at her in her eyes and just letting her tell you about her day or just kiss her, hug her, show her some type of affection, then honestly, she takes that it impregnates her, and then she will do anything that she possibly can for you. Knowing that you're exhausted, but if you would just take 10 seconds out of your day just to look at her square dead in her eyes, like, baby, how was your day? Or give her a hug or just hold her or whatever the case may be, all of that's going to come back to you tenfold because she's seeing that you're pouring into her. She's going to pour all that back into you times 10.
Yeah, good women are multipliers.
They are. They are. But when you get somebody that ain't multiplying nothing, y'all better think about it. Do self-evaluations. What did I do? Okay? And go from there because we're nurturers by nature. We want to take care of you. We want to make sure that you're good. So that's just me. That's just me. That's it and that's all. So, yeah. All right. Anybody got anything else they want to say?
I'm good this time.
All right. Sounds good. So, this has been another episode of the Let's Talk podcast. So, you guys, if you enjoyed this episode, please thumbs it up, subscribe us out, tell everyone you know about the Let's Talk podcast. We are definitely trying to grow our family on this side of the hill. Okay. No one going once, twice, and three. All right. And so no one has anything to say. So guys, until the next time, peace.